Hello everyone, it's Helen at Journaling Planet, and today I'm going to show you a little hack or tip that is going to ensure you never ever have to buy an envelope again if you don't want to. You may see a really beautiful envelope and want to buy it, but all I'm saying is that once you've watched this video, you don't have to. And so long as you've got paper, any kind of paper in your house at all, you should be able to use this tip and never have to buy another envelope. It all starts with a junk mail envelope. This is not a junk mail envelope, but the template for it was. Allow me to explain. Here's a standard junk mail envelope, and we often complain about how many of them we get pushed through our letterboxes. We only need one of these, and it doesn't matter whether or not it's got a window or it hasn't got a window, what size, what shape, what dimension, it doesn't matter. We're not going to be doing any measuring whatsoever, and we're going to be able to make as many envelopes as we want out of this envelope, in a way. What we have to do is turn it over, and just to have done this one, peel up the seams and flatten it out like this. Once we've done this, we just need to draw around it. You can use absolutely anything you want. You can use a Sharpie, a pencil, a crayon, it does not matter. As long as you stay as close to the template as you can, this being our template. You will notice that there are places where I've drawn over this envelope. It doesn't matter. You will notice that there are places where I haven't perfectly joined the lines together on this template. Doesn't matter. We're going to cut through the line. So absolutely doesn't matter how we do it, how imperfectly we do it, as long as we've got as close to the edge of that envelope as we can. That is the only thing that matters. And now I'm going to cut around it. Once that's done, you'll have something that looks a little bit like this. This is just a piece of Amazon packaging paper, nothing more fancy or sophisticated than that. Now that I've got this template, I can use any piece of paper that I want and cut out an envelope. Crucially, I can use the same template over and over again without measuring a thing and make multiple envelopes of exactly the same size. What I think is particularly great about this method is that you can use craft paper that perhaps you're not massively excited about. Like, you wouldn't really want to use it in a collage, but somehow when you make things like that into an envelope, they look a million times better. Let me show you what I mean. There's nothing wrong with this paper. It's perfectly fine. I just don't think it's a fit for a lot of the kind of collages that I make. I was gifted this piece of paper from my uncle. It used to belong to my auntie when she was still with us. Because it belonged to my auntie, I'd really like to use it in a craft, but it's not really my style. Enter the envelope template. I'm going to draw around it just as I did before. But this time I'm going to make sure that I draw around on the wrong side of whatever paper I'm using, i.e. whatever is going to go inside the envelope. Once I've drawn around it, I'm going to cut right along the black line, trying to take as much of the black line as I can with me so it doesn't show on the inside of the envelope. If a little bit shows on the inside of the envelope, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. I can always cover it up if I'm really bothered about it. Next thing I'm going to do, besides put the lid on my pen, they're double-ended and I do this every single time. There's always an end that ends up without a lid. So the next thing I'm going to do is do my folding. Really straightforward. With this particular envelope design, I just need a bit of glue on these two sides, but where you put your glue will very much depend on where your original junk mail envelope was glued. So do pay attention to that when you're putting together your final envelope and deciding where the glue is going to go. Beautiful. If I do say so myself. Time for a bit of ink. So you may have noticed me making a couple of trims here and there to this first envelope. The very first envelope you make with any template that you make like this, you will see where you haven't quite drawn as closely to the original envelope as you could have done, or maybe when you didn't cut exactly on the line when you're cutting out the template, and you'll need to make a couple of trims. It's just a matter of making a note about where on the envelope you make your trims, coming back to your original template and making the trims in the same places. So for me, I will need to trim down this side ever so slightly and along these corners ever so slightly. And then I can continue to use this template and make all the envelopes the same size without actually having to measure. Particularly useful if, say, I wanted to make an envelope journal. And once you've made one envelope, you can make as many envelopes as you want quickly. You can make them out of wallpaper, atlas paper, music paper, vintage magazine page, and if you have them big enough, you can also use book page, or indeed any other kind of paper you can think of. You can leave them blank, or you can decorate them with whatever you have in your stash. Either way, you're going to be left with numerous envelopes of the same size without any measuring whatsoever that can be bound together into an envelope journal, or just used in a journal of a particular size, and you can have confidence that they will fit every single time. Obviously, you can do this with any envelope of any size or shape that you have in your stash. So if you have envelopes in your stash, but they're not that jazzy, say they're just white paper, you can very easily create yourself a template and create envelopes from any paper that you would like. I hope that this video has been helpful, useful and inspiring. I really enjoyed making all my envelopes, and you know what? I think I'm going to go away and make a few more. What do you think of this little tip? Are you going to use it? I see an envelope journal tutorial in my future. Take care, and I'll see you next time.